Hello Cloud Spokers. So this video is regarding challenge 2794, creating the REST service to generate the zip files. So as part of this challenge, I have created a Heroku REST service in Sinatra, a Sinatra web application, which will accept two parameters like file path and file content, and based on those parameters it will generate a zip file. And as part of the challenge, there can be multiple input parameters that can be supplied, and with those parameters a zip file should be generated with the content of all these parameters. So let me just quickly walk you through the code for this challenge. So I've created a Sinatra application, a Ruby application, wherein I have installed, where I've used Sinatra and the Ruby zip gem. Ruby zip is a gem which actually does the task of creating the zip files. So all the content, all the code for this application is present inside app.rb file. So this file has basically routes. Most importantly, the route I've used is zip generator. So the REST service can be called with /zip generator, and by passing the data in the JSON format. So in this route I have also committed the example JSON data it will accept, like it will accept the JSON data in this format, like the key for this will be the data, and inside this there can be multiple inputs with path and content as two parameters. So first input contains, let's say this path, report custom marketing revenue dot report. This is a similar path I have taken from the challenge, and content will be the any XML data which can be passed as a string. So this is the content for this file. So similarly, for the second input I have considered a package.xml file, and content will be some XML content passed in as a string format. So similarly, the other parameters, input parameters, can be supplied to this service. So let me just demonstrate. Before that, apart from this, the code is simple. I mean, there is only one file, around 115 lines of code. So this contains routes, mainly the zip generator, which will accept the user data in the JSON format. The example is shown here, and stores in the request data parameter variable, and it just passes into a proper JSON format. So this comes out to be a hash. So I just need to iterate through all the inputs and have to take the path and content parameter, and based on the path specified, I have to recursively create a directory, and finally the file which is present at the end of it. And finally I have to update the content of this file with this text string, that is the XML file. So this is a piece of code that is doing it. So I have created additional class called as zip file generator, which is doing the task of creating the folders and creating the files and just zipping it out, and finally I am sending the file. So all this creation of files and folders takes place inside the temp directory. So in Heroku you are allowed to create the files inside the temporary folder, and later on automatically Heroku deletes the temporary folder. So when this service will be called with some data, so immediately the file will be created and it will be returned as a zip file. So that will be available as a part of our external system calling it. So that's it. So this is the code app.rb. So let me just demonstrate you how this services can be called. So let me just first walk you through from the Firefox REST client. So this is a Heroku web service URL where I have deployed my Sinatra application. So the URL is zipgenerator.herokuapp.com/zipgenerator is the route I have taken. So in this route I am passing the JSON data with different input parameters, like say input 1, input 2, with each input contains path and and the content for that file. So in this way a JSON data can be passed. So I'm sending a post request because if you send this amount of data and get this won't be allowed in a longer data. So I'm sending a post request with this data. I'm just submitting it. So in the response you'll see a zip file will be generated, and the response header will be, the content type will be the zip. So this is the way file is getting generated. So let me just demonstrate you by running this locally. Before that, I'll just show you how this will be called from the Salesforce. Yeah, so this is a demo class I have taken for this example where I am sending the JSON data to my Heroku service. I'm calling a HTTP request with this URL and with the post as a method type, and finally I'm just displaying the body of that response. So let me just quickly execute this Apex class. So Apex class got executed with this data, the JSON data, and finally at the end, in the body, in the response body, you will see the zip file that is returned from the Heroku service. So this is a zip file, that's why it's shown like this in the response. Okay, so let me just show you locally how the content of that will be created. So for that, let me execute it on local. So this is my Sinatra web application running locally with this content. So I'll just submit this. So the zip file should be created with this path and with this content for this file, and similarly another file package.xml should be created with this content. And similarly for all this input 3 and input 4 parameter, the corresponding file should get created with the proper data. So when I'll submit it, so I think there's a problem. Okay, oh sorry, the path is incorrect. So the path will be like this. No slash is allowed here. Okay, the file is created inside the temp folder temporarily. Okay, so this is a zip file which get returns at the end. So the content of this zip file is like, as I pass the parameter, I pass these parameters. So if you see, reports, custom marketing, revenue report dot report. So in the report folder got created, inside this custom marketing folder got created, and inside the revenue report file got created, and the content for this file should be this XML string. So when I'll open, so by default it opens in I think in the Firefox browser. So this is the content of this XML file which got appended. So similarly for other input parameter, the different folders and the different files got created. So this is it. So this is a way a zip file can be created with passing the input parameters in the JSON format like this. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time.